And welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of our mid-lane matchup. Jensen Pobelter. Round 1 is now in the books, and Immortals did take that first game. It felt like Jensen just had all the tools to have pressure and then could never convert. Pobelter was just able to run much easier on the Talia, and Immortals had a great team effort there to sort of overcome Jensen's pressure and, of course, the rest of Cloud9 as well.
Yeah, I think it has a big thing to do with the champion pick of LeBlanc. I think if he picked a champion that... LeBlanc is more of a champion just like, yo, I want to outplay this guy 1v1, which he did. He did win lane, you know, he had some good trades versus Pobelter. But then you get to team fights, and it's just like, oh, if their AD carry doesn't miss position, then I can't really do anything. Where Pobelter on the other hand was like, yeah, I lost lane a little bit, but I'm going to play team fights well, and it doesn't really matter that you beat me in lane.
LeBlanc requires so much setup for your team and so much done for success compared to Talia. And the way he played the lane, he didn't try to pressure him or like freeze the lane or anything because Talia then can roam. But then if you even push her in, you can see she clears wave with one spell and then she roams. So it doesn't matter, like you can't push her in, and until you have dive opportunity or anything, which they never did, like they couldn't break the tower. Maybe at some point of the game when Jensen had so much advantage, they should have tried to like roam their bot lane and set up the dive on him. So they get the mid turret, and maybe then LeBlanc could have done anything. But this way, the mid turret was staying, so they cannot set up the wards. They cannot set up anything, and the only fight they go for, right, is the fight where LeBlanc just TPs on the ward in front of everyone, and then it's just like, hey, Jin, shoot me. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It's just like, you need a flank, you need wards, you need vision control, you need go for picks, and other than that, you need to keep pressure on all the lanes at the same time, or like 2 lanes. Okay, Gangplank cannot pressure Rumble. That lane will probably suffer no matter what, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, he had some options too. Another thing that I personally did a lot, and I've seen a lot of teams do, is if you have a 1-3-1 comp, which they did, they had a Sivir to clear the mid lane, they had a Gangplank for a side and a LeBlanc for another side. If LeBlanc was winning on her bot side, she could shove it in, but it didn't really matter. What you can do there is if you shove in the wave, you can reset, and then since your top lane is getting pressured really hard, you can go for a roam on the Rumble. And if they got that Rumble behind, then that would have been a completely different game, because Huni just, you know, shit all over them. Like, that was a Huni show.
Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot generally when Huni plays, but Rumble Talia was a pretty nice combination. Pobelter, as almost always, playing a bit more of a supporting role in that game, but it certainly worked out for him and his team. We'll talk changes, though, because we are going to move into Champ Select for draft number 2 relatively shortly. C9 did opt to swap over sides, as we heard on stream. So, blue side here, I think the first thing that came to your mind, Alex, was maybe they're going to take Talia now.
Well, it's pretty much the question, do they ban Talia or do they pressure with the first pick Talia? So, I don't know if Jensen plays her and how good he plays her, and if he's comfortable first picking her. And probably Pobelter can answer that, because I think Pobelter's pool is more versatile in terms of team fighting, and it suits Immortals totally fine. I think Pobelter can even pull out something like Aurelion Sol that is really popular counter pick for Talia, because he can match her roam, and he can match her lane wave clearing abilities. So we'll see.
I like it. We'll have to see. But Pobelter definitely, again, another strong performance there. I can tell you that Jensen has played Talia in the LCS already, but I think when we were talking about styles, it just felt like Jensen doesn't really, like, it's not the champion he wants to play in lane, right? Like, he can't take over the mid lane with Talia. You kind of have to let the other 2 lanes.
Well, Immortals solving that problem.
All right, well.
The Rumble out. I wonder if that's going to... Well, I think banning top laners versus Huni is just like, he can play every single one, so it's kind of not too much, but that makes me think they might want to first pick Gangplank here.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't see the point of banning Rumble that much, because if you pick Gangplank, then you get counterpick instead of Rumble by Gnar, and it's pretty much the same pain. Yeah. So you're probably gonna first pick Gangplank, but then they're gonna counterpick with Gnar, so I don't see much difference in that. Or maybe Echo?
Yeah, Echo it's been played in LCK. Gangplank can win lane versus Echo, but if Echo ever gets going, it's just a massacre for him. Since he's so mobile, he can just stick on Gangplank all day.
I'm still not convinced with Echo. Like, I see it a lot in LCK, and it feels like he always loses the lane. So, I don't know. Like, the champion is so strange. But knowing Huni, he can even go AP Echo or something with, like, protocol and stuff. Yeah. So, we never know what he's gonna pull out. So, in Huni, we trust.
I mean, on that note, is mid lane AP Echo maybe something to think about? Because we've seen that as well. I mean, also in the LCK, I believe Flag kind of likes that champion as well.
Yeah, I think it's not really a blindable champion.
Yep.
You know, if you get counterpicked, you know, LeBlanc or Lissandra, who can just lock him down and one-shot him. But I do think it's a good counterpick into Aurelion Sol if someone ever blinds that. And it can do well versus Talia, because you go TP, you can match the roams, you can almost match a shove with the Q. and it's almost impossible for Talia to ever land a W on you since you're so mobile. But I don't really expect to see it in these series. I think AP Talia or AP Echo is something not many people have been playing. You know, maybe for the next round, but not really expecting it for this match.
Yeah, I mean, we're like mid lane stream, but I still don't understand. Like C9, they're pre-trading champions. They're just
Ooh.
Whoa, no, Riven, okay.
It's the classic
Riven
counter pick.
destroys getting played. That's like almost unplayable, and Huni is a good Riven, so.
yeah, I would say lane swap, but we're in a unlucky patch. No more lane swaps. I just don't understand. C9 are just like picking Sivir all the time instead of Jhin, and I feel like Jhin is just a better champion. I just feel like he's better in lane. He has pressure and everything, and maybe we finally see Syndra blind pick. So this is funny part. He doesn't like pick Syndra as a counter pick, but then he wants to pick it blind. And I mean, it kind of makes sense. And Jensen showed that he's really good Syndra, but I just feel like playing Syndra into a Riven and Jhin gonna hurt.
Yeah, and you know, I would really think last game would have been a better game for Syndra. I guess he does have the mobility and the appeal from Braum and Sivir, but at the same time, he has to be avoiding pillars. He has to avoid Rek'Sai tunnels.
Right.
Ooh, LeBlanc into Syndra. I don't think that's a.
No?
So basically, Syndra is considered a counter pick for LeBlanc, so that's quite questionable.
Yeah, I mean, with LeBlanc Rek'Sai, maybe you can pull it off. And honestly, like I think if you get Syndra ahead, or if you get LeBlanc ahead, you can win. Generally, how I see this matchup going is 1-5. It's skill matchup for the most part. Like Syndra needs to E away LeBlanc's W to win the trade, and LeBlanc needs to make sure that doesn't happen. But once past 6, you know, the farther the game goes on, the more it's better for Syndra, because eventually, like post 11, Syndra legitimately just ults the LeBlanc and then presses E and he dies. So, interesting pick by Pobelter. Maybe he's had better success in the lane, but we'll see.
I don't know, I feel like Pobelter is just like so much better, and for their team comp overall would be like just get some clear or like some pressure, like maybe something like Malzahar, just like get something that is invulnerable to that Syndra pick, and at the same time that has wave clear, peak potential, like everything your team needs. And instead they opt into LeBlanc, which is like, if they get behind in this game, I feel like it's not gonna go well.
That's funny. It's almost the same story as last game in mid lane.
I think that's picking LeBlanc.
Yeah, I just like,
don't
it's just
know.
like what C9 did, that's basically what Immortals are doing. And maybe they feel a bit overconfident with the previous game because they kind of steamrolled it super hard. We'll see.
All right, well, we are going to see how Game 2 shakes out, but maybe LeBlanc could be the pick that starts cursing this series. I guess this is a quick vote from you guys. Obviously, it was a counter pick for Jensen in the last game into Talia. Now, kind of counter picking himself away into Syndra. I assume LeBlanc into Talia is at least a little bit better than LeBlanc into Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the one thing is like, you know, there are ways to play this late game. You know, if you get Sneaky Flake on Syndra, then you just QRW from a brush and Syndra gets one shot, because she doesn't build tanky. Talia, you get a little tanky for the most part.
Yeah, that's what you say, and then I know that Jensen builds Rylai's on Syndra all the time.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. The Syndra build is Rylai's. Yeah, you go Morella, Rylai's. She might even go Abyssal, too.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be like Morella. Maybe not Abyssal because they have only LeBlanc, but I think Rylai's will be enough to survive that. Or, I mean, you never know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, Pobelter.
I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe he just sits on a Negatron. Jensen could sit on a Negatron, but
Yeah.
he's not really the player. Obviously, last game, like, it was a perfect game by Negatron, and he didn't. So, you know, maybe he'll just go full damage and be a man.
That's what the tournament client lacks, and that's what this game lacks, is like having the mastery mode. If you jumped in there like into them and mastery mode there, that's the swag right there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have a bad habit. I always press mastery emote. I have it on X. I press mastery emote on stage. I'm like, oh, good thing that didn't show.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, again, continuing habits of things maybe I don't do enough in my dynamic queue games. Mastery emote I do not do enough of, so
Yeah, maybe you don't have mastery mode, so we're all open.
I've already learned today I can improve by suiciding as soon as I die to burn.
Good trade by Pobelter. Jensen opted to start W, which it's a better for like a long range slow poking, and Q is better for like if you're gonna do a bunch of consistent trades. Pobelter out traded him there though, but You can see the W is just so consistent.
W is just like consistent trade early, and Q is less consistent. But Pobelter is opting into like going aggro too.
Yeah, he's definitely punishing it. Dodging that W it's a longer time. If Jensen started Q there, dodging the Q doesn't matter because it's like a 3 to 4 second cooldown. Maybe you'll slightly win that trade. But dodging the W is really important.
I feel like starting Q is just better because you can do like what Talia does. You just like push the wave super fast.
Yeah.
And then you just get the level 2 earlier, and then you just reset the lane.
Yeah, I think W is a little bit better getting at level 2.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst thing, especially if your opponent's not expecting it. But Pobelter was ready for that.
Yeah. And I mean, because of that, like, he can't even push the lane fast enough now.
Yeah,
so
now
his
he's
lane
in a
is
really
in a
bad spot.
super bad spot.
Yeah, he doesn't have level 3, so Pobelter, the QW from and Pobelter holding onto the W, looking for the dodge. He gets it. Pobelter playing this lane really well.
Yeah.
Looking for the stun maybe on that ball? No.
Yeah, we could have seen Gragas, like, he went not for the usual route, but basically after he cleared the jungle, he went through the mid lane, so covering like the lane from behind. So basically if Rek'Sai ganked at that moment, Gragas was like in the lane there.
Yeah, luckily Jensen has pretty good wards on both sides. He has a ward from left side and a right side from Gragas, so he doesn't have to be too afraid about shoving this wave in.
Yeah, now he can finally reset the lane and gets into the better spot.
I think he will go for the reset here. There's not really reason not to. I imagine how much gold do you have? 600? Maybe in a Doran's ring and a refillable is what I'd kind of expect. Let's see what he'll do. Pink ward and pots, that's fine too. It's a little bit better for your team.
Yeah. He could have bought refillable, but instead he bought 3 pots. That's interesting.
Oh, he actually bought 3 pots?
Yeah.
Because he had 200 gold left over, right? So
yeah, refillable is, or those potions will be better for this laning phase. I'll make sure. So I guess that's more important too, that you get past the early phase.
Yeah, he probably just want to like not recall for a while and like kind of snowball it in some way. So he wants to stay, and as we see, he didn't even lose anything because like when he reset, the wave was so huge that when it crashed into the lane, so it took time for Pobelter to clear it.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that they weren't able to punish Jensen as he was pushing a wave into tower with, but since he had the vision, they couldn't really punish it, and he gets a free reset in. LeBlanc has a Negatron now, though.
Well, I mean, in reality, even if you have vision, they could have still punished him because, like, first, LeBlanc has TP, and second, Rek'Sai can just, like, come through the wards and basically just sit there and deny him, like, the recall, and then they freeze the wave, and then he just recalls and TPs back as LeBlanc. But I feel like it's just the way Immortals play. They never, like, you know, get the mid lane ahead. They're fine with going him equal, and he even, like, doesn't TP back into lane. He just comes there, and then he gets blue buff eventually. And this way, Rain over, he doesn't lose anything.
Oh, that clap on Meteos. Meteos overextended.
Jensen actually gets
nice
splashes in. Very nice for first blood. Now Pobelter going to get chased down as well. Jensen going to keep moving in and try and lock it down. Level 5 at Huni.
Oh, Huni's down here.
Meteos needs to get out of the way. Pobelter wants it. He flashes in. He'll get it.
Chain lands. Jensen summoner list.
He's going to be okay. Nice good stun there onto Huni. Jensen played that wonderfully.
Oh my goodness. This is insane.
Syndra got PogChamp.
Yeah, that was like perfectly played by Syndra. But he does have no summoners now, and Rek'Sai has flash. So I'm expecting Rek'Sai to be coming back to this lane, which begins some more action. Double buffs for Pobelter as well. That feels good.
Yeah, like Jensen jumped in there, and then when Huni came, he canceled his jump with his Q, with his stun, and just like he played it perfectly.
Cool. So let's see it again. So Meteor starts us off by trying to counter it, but Rainover's like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah, he got a nice chain off, but then the stun was just amazing from Jensen. That was like a max range stun, and he immediately follows up, no hesitation.
Chase down Pobelter here as well. And then Huni kind of tries to make it happen. Meteos is kind of dead at this point as well. Pobelter burns his flash to make sure it happens, but then Jensen gets away.
Yeah, I think the only thing he could have done slightly better there is Geiger should have held his E, so LeBlanc couldn't go for the W. But I think this could actually go okay for Pobelter. He got the kill. They both got kills, but he also has TP to reset the lane, so he can come back at any time and get beat up on items on Jensen. And he's shoving in the wave, so let's see if he might look to just save TP and back, or he might try to pressure and try to go for a 1v1, but...
Jensen can't really push this lane out anymore because he doesn't have flash. He doesn't want to risk it.
He's ulting. Oh boy.
Double buff donate,
Chain
maybe?
lands.
Jensen wants to chase in.
Yeah. Negatron OP.
That was actually really good for Pobelter, because now Jensen is low mana, low health, no ulti, and Jensen's going to be full health with TP, and he's going to get a lot of pressure on Jensen right now.
Well, Syndra just going to push this wave out and recall, so...
Yeah, it does seem like he's going to be able to get the push off. Syndra's push is pretty strong.
He'll probably try to freeze it, but I don't think it's going to, like, matter much.
Yeah, he might. He might even try to stop the recall.
Yeah.
Nope, he's just going to...
He'll try there.
not really safe.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. That's the one thing about Syndra, just like wave push, so insane.
Well, now he just doesn't have TP anymore.
Yeah, doesn't really get anything off that TP. Although, so he does have a timer right now where Syndra's back in base. He's going to shove, hopefully I think he'll shove this wave. Yep, he will. And he's going to go maybe look for vision more on the bot side because he already has decent vision, or maybe he'll just go ward top side, look to clear pings. Checking for wards.
Yeah, this is basically what TP gives you. Like, you TP back into lane, so you're faster than your opponent, so you have time to clear the wave and roam. So you can either go into enemy jungle with your jungler, or you can roam into side lanes if there is some fight going.
Ooh, they missed the ward.
Yeah, Reina was a little lost. Oh,
That's
no, it's not gonna
very
see it.
unfortunate. Yeah, they didn't get anything off that shove and roam.
Well, they're getting blue buff.
They're going for it. This is actually pretty good if they can keep blue buff off of Syndra. Looks like Syndra and Gragas might try to farm.
Well, but Reina already has it. Gonna leave the rest of the camp there, and Meteos not there in time to chase it out. Jensen is going to clear that pink on the left side. Now he's trying to get some vision down, does ward up the Raptor area, but pink ward there should be able to be cleared out. Rain over. So let's have vision of that ward. He's going to take it.
Yeah. Wards are giving experience now, so he's getting ahead.
Out farm.
Out farm. As Jensen did a good time with that last chapter. I feel like we're going to see a lot of this between these two, but lots of battles between Morella and Abyssal, it feels like this series. Jensen kind of going back on the aggressive item route instead. And Jensen, again, just kind of have to wait for Syndra to push waves in and then eventually push them back out. And Jensen, can he maybe start leaving lane or influencing other situations? Because he's going to quickly shove these lanes out now.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking right there that maybe him and Gragas would go for an invade on the Rex side, but it's just, they can't really invade top side because it's Riven versus Gangplank, so he has pressure. So I really think they should look to take over back to bot side, and they should re-invade. They should invade for Immortal's blue buff when it comes up. It's coming up pretty shortly, less than a minute, so I think they should look for that. That's a good way to take advantage of Syndra's pushing abilities.
I feel like they're just like playing safe right now, and Jensen just wants to wait for his flash to beam back up. So he's kind of playing towards the lane and just like clearing it and staying and waiting till flash is back up. And when the flash is there, he will start like doing things and roaming and pressuring Pobelter again.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty afraid of Rek'Sai right now with no flash. Even though he has pretty good decent vision, it's scary.
Yeah.
But he'll end up getting all the minions anyway.
I actually didn't pay attention previous game what Rek'Sai build was on Meteos, if he builds Tiamat or not. But this Rek'Sai build is really interesting.
Yeah, Sidestone plus, I guess, the Titanic parts there with the Jerome Spears. We'll find out later. Rain over.
Yeah, I wonder, he starts not with the Tiamat, but with this part. So he kind of slows down his wave clear. This is why like every Rek'Sai right now going Tiamat, so you can clear super fast. So you're like new version of Nidalee that goes like super tank, but at the same time clears super fast. And if the enemy whenever leaves jungle or ganking, you can like clear it. And this way it's really interesting.
I think he was really respecting Syndra's burst capability. He wanted to build some health, so in a scrap he just didn't get one shot. I mean, he's already got one shot by Syndra once this game. So I guess maybe since he died early, he wants to wait on that. I really want to see Meteos and Jensen group up and take full control of one side. Ooh, a nice eat by Jensen. This is a really good fight for Jensen right now.
Ulti there as well, tags in with the NALCS2, but not enough to get a kill here. It feels like Jensen isn't converting a lot of these all-ins, but does that matter? Is he just happy to keep Pobelter low in the lane here?
I think right now what Jensen is looking for, he's just looking to chunk Pobelter most of the time. He's not looking for kill.
Ooh, this could be it.
Oh, Q needs to land.
Lords is down.
Doesn't have it.
Yeah. So basically he's just like looking for really good trades.
Wee, busy top lane. Oh, Hooney.
And if Impact would have ulted mid lane instead of trying to save himself, LeBlanc would have died there.
This
he has
is
Thunderlords.
Yeah, this is the bad habit of all the Gangplanks. Whenever you play Gangplank, you will 100% get pressured. You will 100 and like ulting for yourself is usually useless because you're gonna die anyway. Most of the time you won't even get a kill. So it's much better to either keep your ultimate or even like ulti like for example LeBlanc there or something. And this is the bad habit. This ultimate cooldown is super long, especially after the nerf. And he's just basically like butchering his team while he would get like killed in lane anyway, and like that ult didn't achieve anything.
Yeah, I think it's also a thing where I think they're not playing around gameplay correctly. Usually what teams will do is, you know, if you're gonna gank him top side, they'll just format bot side with his ulti and they'll take first blood tower and they'll get a double kill, maybe even a dragon. But Meteos was up top side trying to like help win the 2v2, which they'll never win anyway. So I think they're also not playing around gameplay well at all.
Ooh, Turtle goes down there.
Jensen, so this is going to be a full fight on the ball lane. Everyone's down here.
Pobelter
5v5.
Oh, King misses, flashes away.
Bad news bets for Pobelter. Gets
Pobelter's
stunned on the
dead,
back end as well. Stunned in by Jensen.
Oh.
And that's going to be clean up. DP's down here. Rainovo taking some damage. Hooney and Atrian going to try and keep fighting, but there's the ultimate. The Rainovo is enough for the killer's impact. actually takes him down on the GP. C9 with a very nice roam there.
Yeah, and you're just saying like why LeBlanc is like not as good as Syndra in team fights. You know, you just don't do as much damage as safely as like Syndra can.
Well, yeah, it's just like the problem of LeBlanc. You just like whenever you do damage, you need to jump in, and then this is why the Syndra is a counter pick, because like you jump in, you get stunned, you get one shot, and then again, if there was a Gangplank ultimate, I feel like this fight would be even more clean by C9. So basically, this is just like the sync in their actions is so weird. Like they have a Gangplank top, and then he gets like ganked up, they still go for the dive bottom, but Gangplank uses ult for himself, and now they don't have an ult, and they still go for all in and dive.
Did you just get ulted here? Oh, that's great.
Oh, E-flash?
Yeah, chases him
Oh,
down.
flash E.
And then Pobelter tries to kind of recoup the situation, but TP's coming from C9 and Jensen already down as well. This chain though.
Yeah,
bad.
it's unfortunate. He flashes away, and then he goes back straight into everyone.
Lucky. But like this is like a bad fight, but on the other side, we can see that Pobelter is first again. Like whenever something happens, he's always first on the roam. Even though it was C9 making the play, Pobelter was there before Jensen, which says that like Immortals, even though C9 has pressure of the mid lane, Pobelter is first there.
Yeah, Pobelter is really good at just always being there for his team. It doesn't, it's even like when he gets behind in lane, it's not like, you know, you're feeling it that much. It's not like Jensen's going down there like 10 seconds before because he's winning lane. Pobelter always finds a way to still be useful.
I feel like Jensen, he's because he really wants to. It's like a junglers that want to make it effective, so he's like mid lane. He wants to push out the wave first, so he will never leave the wave in the bad spot, and he will first push it out and then roam. While Pobelter, he doesn't care, he will lose CS, but he will try to help his team. And
Yeah.
we can see it like he's behind 20 CS now.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how they've been all split too. As Jensen is just such a player, like even in lane, like Jensen's been winning lane, not just because it's a good matchup, but he's also been playing it really well. Jensen's a player who usually just focuses on making sure he's like outplaying the opponent. You know, sometimes that's not always the best thing ever. Sometimes you should be roaming and helping your team win their lane. And he's doing it right now. This is a good roam.
I feel bad for Impact. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
feel bad for
Just
it.
stranded in bottom lane.
Here comes the TP. I imagine
Pobelter.
Pobelter should just kill the wave so that they only have one escape route.
Oh, Impact is still alive.
What he did, in fact, yeah, still getting dope. We'll check you in.
And-
Oh,
oh, no way.
oh,
no
turn around,
way.
Impact. What a beast.
Did he ult bottom side?
Yeah, he
must have.
ulted under the turret,
Yeah.
and then
See, this is how you should be playing Gangplank, I think, but they weren't able to get anything. They weren't able to convert on the top lane. Both plays on both sides failed, so.
yeah, just like if Gangplank used ultimate top, they probably would have got a kill, but he would have died. So he used ultimate for himself, so he didn't die. But like, and they're still like, committing.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, knock up there into Adrian. Media's going to commit. Turtle getting low. Civic going to chunk him down, and there's the kill.
That's a
Smoothie.
dude.
One more shot, but it's not enough to kill him. Sneaky gets the next one. An Impact now still in trouble.
Yeah.
Stunned by Huni. Knocked back in, and that's a kill for Immortals.
It's just like I like that the same happening that was happening in the previous game. Huni getting ahead, and then like the C9 bot lane is getting ahead, and they're like splitting the pressure. But this time I feel like Immortals have much more unlucky champions.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I still think that was overall, I mean, they got an extra kill on Cloud9's side, so, you know, it's not the worst thing. I think that was pretty good for C9, but
Yeah.
they're still not getting as much as they would like with the Syndra.
It all depends on if Huni will be able to split push and they will be able to shut him down in any way or like force team fights or Baron. Because like, I feel if in a straight 5v5 team fight, it will be super hard for Huni to do anything until he one-shots Jensen.
Wow, look at actually Gangplank's build. He's not even rushing the Triforce. He got that Jarum's Fist, I think is what
Yeah.
it's called. And Tabides before he finished Triforce. That feels really bad because the way people want to play Gangplank is you want to get that Triforce so your barrel pistol basically one-shots the wave, especially the casters. That way you can absorb pressure and just kill the wave. And if they want to dive you on a turret, then you go for the outplay. But
Well, he survived because of that, so I guess it's not that bad.
yeah, I guess it's working out. But maybe you wouldn't have been in that position if killed the wave.
Maybe. Well, we have a pretty interesting situation back in mid lane. Blues traded back again for both Jensen and Pobelter, but very similar to game number 1. Pressure in the side lane, Sinang winning one half, Immortal sort of winning the other. Huni is ahead, 2-0-2 there on the Riven, so he's going to have his lead as per usual. Impact, I think it's softened the blow this time, which is good, but once again, these 2 towers are still standing. Both teams want to open up the map and make plays, and I feel like the first turret to break, probably going to give a team advantage moving into the mid game, and Jensen so far does have decent chip damage on it.
Yeah, and if you even look at the item builds, Pobelter had to go Abyssal first just because the laning phase is
Bad.
Oh, goodbye.
Bye, Turtle.
So Gangplank ulted, they're all committing. Again, I just feel that C9, they should I mean, they're like getting kills, okay, but I feel like they should spread their pressure towards the mid lane and just get this started. Especially like in previous game, okay, there was Talia, she has like wave clear, it's really hard to push, but this time you're playing against LeBlanc, just come and like get this turret, like push out top, so the Jhin is 100% there, then you just like rotate and get this turret, and it will open so much of the map play for them. But
yeah,
right now they're just like too committed to their lanes, and even though like Wild Turtle again, he's like getting killed in lane and everything, he's still kind of equal in CS, so he's not losing that much. And he understands that he's behind, so he's going for the Essence Reaver scaling build instead of the armor penetration build.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like using a Gangplank ulti to kill an 0-2 Jhin and committing like 3 people to the top side, like that's not even worth it when they could just shove it in, keep Jhin under tower, and then have okay.
Ulti, is he gonna block?
Kumi's coming, and they just disengage. Well, basically, I mean, this is what I'm speaking again. Like, if C9, they push out top first, so the Jhin is 100% there, and then they rotate, they can push. But like this way, they're just like committing for kind of 5v5 stalemate mid lane. And this way, just like, they're gonna just like sit around and then everyone will just back out. Well, maybe it relieves some pressure from the Gangplank, but I feel like they could have got this turret. And now Immortals are setting up 1-3-1 because they have LeBlanc, and they're probably just gonna leave Jhin mid. And let's hope that he's not gonna get dove again with the Gangplank ultimate. Because this time, at mid lane, if they dive him, they will get a tower.
Yeah.
Feels like maybe that's the best way to break the siege, so we'll see what happens. Turtle firmly sitting in this mid lane. We'll see how much CS he can get safely. Is probably the most important thing there. Pobelter also with the TP almost back and ready. Ooh, hello, C9 want to gank him. Meteos
wow.
goes for it. Doesn't quite get him, and they're committing hard. Oh, get outplayed.
Wow.
And I think
he should just run and take as much time as possible. He can run to the jungle and just waste 4 people's time for so long.
There's gonna be a long chase.
He might even get out. Oh, no, they have Wolf Spirit, so they see him as well. He's just gonna take forever. And yeah, Immortal's just gonna run down. Oh, yep, he's out actually. Yeah. That was really good by Pobelter. To dodge the Gragas E-Flash, to dodge basically everything, and then know the right route to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how you want to play LeBlanc, is you want to put him in a side lane and you want him to absorb pressure for your team. I think MT could have got more damage on mid tower and got more stuff from it, but that's how you want to do it.
Yeah, this is what C9 should have done previous game.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
That was whew, magic tricks.
Poorly timed for Smoothie as well, because his ulti was literally in mid-air casting it, and Pobelter's like, oh no, I have enough time to get out. Does manage to get away safely. Meteos burns a flash. Pobelter still in the top lane, doesn't have his flash, but probably not going to need it if he's as slick as he was back then. And again, we still see the stalemate is maybe the next thing to look at. Jensen returning to his mid lane, does have needlessly large rod now, so skipping the Abyssal for at least now, just wants the Negatron. Feels like that's enough, probably for the LeBlanc in the early game.
Yeah, this is like the way a lot of people play right now. Because of the Abyssal changes, it's not as cost effective as it was before, because it doesn't help you like clear the waves, it's only like Emrys Shred, and then if you're playing against something like Syndra, right? Sometimes you're not even in range to proc the Abyssal. So instead, like you just get Negatron, and then with new build for Banshees Veil, you can even go Banshees instead. So it's like Negatron is super effective because you still have the versatility of the item.
Yeah. To go back like the C9, to go for like the Jensen Pobelter thing, like Jensen being a better like mechanical and 1v1 player, and Pobelter playing the map better. I think it's even showing this game, like even though Pobelter lost lane and Jensen played the lane better, he's like, I feel like he's applying more pressure to the map, where Jensen's just wave playing mid all day. He's not calling his team to take turrets, while Pobelter is like forcing people to be top and forcing people to chase him around.
Yeah, just like the way C9 plays is really weird. So they have a lot of advantages and a lot of opportunities, but they're not doing anything. They had that pressure mid lane, Pobelter roams first. They never like go into enemy jungle to ward, they never do anything. And then like they have the pressure top side, they're pressuring wild turtle, but they never like collapse on mid lane on no wave clear. So you have like pressure in mid lane because it's Cinder versus LeBlanc, then you have pressure on Sivir, and you know the collapsing. And like, this is like 22 minutes, right? They could have done it like 7 minutes before what they're doing basically right now. So they like clear the top side. What they should have done is like clear the top side, then get the T-ports into enemy jungle, so you can rotate. Like right now, because they don't have the proper vision, they cannot really like rotate the save.
Oh, here we go.
Well, again.
Show me some magic. They're all they were too afraid to go in because they don't want to get juked again.
Well, then maybe have to convert for this tower, I guess.
Yeah, but Gangplank's getting dealt bottom.
And I've seen this movie somewhere.
Feel bad, man. Impact flashes
Impact's playing
out.
really well. Oh, and he TPs the force on Syndra.
Ooh, Jensen flashes. Pobelter gonna keep chasing. Has to juke the bullets, but Pobelter wants to close the gap. Good juke out. Is not gonna get stunned by Syndra.
This is like,
This is a weird game.
This is a weird game.
this is just like, I feel like Immortal's macro decision making is better in this game, but C9 is just like having better lane advantages and just better pick overall.
Yeah, I do agree. I think C9's draft overall is better, so maybe they're not getting pressured as hard from IMT's rotations. But
Yeah, but they're like still losing on the map, even though like they have advantages like in the mid lane, in the bot side, and Gangplank can survive 1v2 against Riven and Rek'Sai, which is pretty ridiculous. Which means like it shows that their comp is like better, right? But C9 are not getting any advantages of that. They're losing dragons. They're not pressuring Baron. They're not getting deep vision. They like finally got a tower in like 10 minutes, but they still cannot even break the mid turret with all the advantages they have.
yeah, and the mid turret, like mid tier 1 is after like first blood and after like first tower blood, mid tier 1 is like one of the most important objectives on the map because it just opens up the map so much for vision control and it lets you do so much more with like Baron baiting and such and even taking neutral objectives like the red buff and the blue buff. And the fact that they can't get this mid turret down is just, it's not going to be good for them. So now they're kind of just relying on like random kills. They're not really doing it like the textbook way. They're kind of like doing random stuff.
Yeah, I feel like just like the way C9 play overall, they're trying to make the game Clown Fiesta, and it doesn't work that well against a team like Immortal.
Yeah, this reminds me kind of like how Game 1 versus Immortal versus Envious was, where they had winning solo lanes, and it dragged out until Lissandra and Kinnan just AoE teamfight and they lost. So I think if IMT goes for, that's why I don't really like this LeBlanc pick. I feel like if IMT goes for the team fighting comp like they did last time, that their macro is just so much better that they don't need to pick like these, here we go, these risky assassin players.
So you like and enjoy that Riven pick then?
Maybe.
I like the Riven pick, but let's see what happens with Pobelter here.
There we go.
All right, one more time. 3v1, Pobelter. Oh, there's the first juke. Gets exhausted though. Now has to get out again. Rainover's here, so 2v3s. Pobelter's out again. Meteor's finally going to shut it down. Ults him back in, but the rest of the team's actually here. He finally gets done on C9. They need this kill. They do convert, but Sneaky already a little too low. Smoothie blocking as many shots as he can. Rainover trying to dive in. He does finally get Sneaky.
All right, this is the Jensen show. Can he clean up the team side?
Well, Rainover looks pretty dead. They are going to chase in for him. Needs the stun. Does land it at max range, and that's going to be the GA popped. Rainover doesn't really have anywhere to go, so I'm pretty sure he's dead at this point. Jensen is going to take him out with the ulti.
Yeah, but this is again like C9 are reacting a lot. They're just reacting to what Immortals are doing. So basically, they're just like they commit 5 people to kill 1 LeBlanc, and then they lose a mid turret of that.
Yeah, Huni did the work he needed to do. Actually took that crucial turret too.
Yeah, that was actually even like better for IMT. Like mid tower is way more important than getting 1 kill because they traded 1 for 1. They killed 80 carry. I mean.
Yeah, I feel like instead of trying to help Pobelter, they can even leave him to die there because it doesn't really matter, and they could have just like 3-man mid lane and get that turret. Yeah. So they just like instead of trading 2 for 1 and losing the GA, they could have just traded 1 for the turret, and mid turret is much more important than the kill on LeBlanc.
Yeah, it feels like C9 is just not playing their own game. They're like Immortal's just like telling them exactly what to do, and it doesn't really matter if they win the fight where they are because they're just pressuring everywhere all the time. While C9's like, you know, they're not going for waves first. They're just trying to like sit in brushes and chase LeBlanc.
I mean,
right now.
It's just like,
what's the point? If you kill a LeBlanc, I just don't know.
Good flash from Pobelter.
I just like don't know. I mean, at this point, okay, they probably cannot do anything anymore except chasing LeBlanc, so they're committing for it. But now, like, they used a lot. They're getting collapsed.
Yep. I mean, they've been wasting so much time that now I think Huni just. All right, let's see Huni. It's a big play.
Feels bad. Sneaky Huni goes in. In fact, the ulti Sneaky just gonna get popped.
Jensen.
Actually enough, Jensen turning it around. Pobelter getting low. He's going to fall. Now he's going to go down. Adrian trying to do what he can as Rainover looks to chase down one more, but Jensen going to keep the fight going. Needs a big stone. Huge two-man. Adrian going to live for a little while longer though, and Rainover still trying.
Got the last bullet.
Causing problems, but again taking damage. Smoothie blocking what he can. That W locks up Smoothie, but Jensen, oh, he missed that stun. Could be a crucial one there in onto the other one, but Rainover able to take out Smoothie and close. C9, I think. Definitely the right idea.
Well,
Oh, he gets it with the dancing.
Oh,
that's
the
the
EV!
goal.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I don't know what this game is.
Well, Pobelter died.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of expected, but Jensen tried very hard to carry the rest of that fight.
Yeah, Jensen played that fight really well. It's just like his team just never in like a good scenario because they're just
well,
you know.
yeah, it's hard to win 45.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just
Oh, no.
no.
the Clown Fiesta.
Pobelter, tank the Baron for us, Pobelter.
He's doing it. I'm not sure he can take it for too much longer.
Oh my god! What is this game?
Well, I mean, he
Which
got
one's
it.
the real one?
Sneaky chasing.
Oh, that was
Impact.
a clean barrel combo.
Alley-oop.
Right.
At least I think Huni got the Baron. Wait, did Huni get the Baron?
No, a model.
did.
Yeah, a model's got it.
Okay.
I think
So
Model's
this
got
game
it.
is going for the Baron awards. Baron probably doing the best in this game right now out of two teams. but other than that, just like, I mean, I kind of understand the ideas about everything, but as we spoke, like the comp of Immortals is just like so bad. They like in the team fight, they do everything perfectly, but then like once Syndra's down, they all die. And then if that fight wasn't 4v5, then C9 win it completely just because like their comp is better. And then after that, Immortals, I didn't know what that Baron was. Maybe they're slightly desperate because I understand that they're getting like outscaled a bit. But like, yeah, I guess they're lucky that Baron killing doesn't give gold to anyone. So basically they got ahead from that taking the Baron, and now because of how like C9 are playing the map, the only thing C9 could have done is baiting the Baron, and then like now there is no Baron. So probably we're gonna continue seeing them chasing the left line.
I don't think Riven got the combo off how exactly she wanted it. She got pretty much done locked, so I don't think that. I think that fight was actually pretty unoptimal for IMT. They basically Riven's so strong now that C9 has been basically wasting their time, like wasting their own time for the past like 15 minutes. That Riven might be able to solo carry this game. But
Yeah, but she needs like USS or something. Because,
Yeah,
like
she does.
the stun lock of C9. This is why like I feel like Huni, like the way he jumped and everything is like good, but Meteos reacted perfectly with his stun there. And then Jensen just like they just like have the stun lock, so the basically like the Braum, the Gragas.
this was a pretty heavy play though.
Yeah, well
The Trundle into the Trundle pillar, so he gets hit by the Jinny passive.
Yeah.
Jensen, you saw the first one was great on the team fight. Second time barely missed Turtle, and I think the last one missed as well. So aggressive play from Immortals doesn't let them in that fight, but we're at it again. Who can impact this time? It is his problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where the point of the game where Gangplank shouldn't go out of the turret. And because if you go out of the turret, you just get one shot.
Yeah.
And if you look at Huni's build, he's like full split push, double lifesteal items. He's basically unstoppable.
I mean, this is the Fiora build almost, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
This is what I was wondering. They're like, again, it's just like sometimes you feel really weird about the way Immortals play that because like Huni, he has so much advantage, he goes for the split push build, and then he just TPs and gets one shot.
What is this?
This is
C9 looking for something. Turtle,
Jensen.
can they get him? Needs to ulti, is enough.
It
Jensen flashes on top of him and gets in. Now Adrian gonna get himself chased down. Huni still split pushing, and so is Pobelter, but Adrian is going to die here. Double kill for Jensen.
Yeah, I mean, even look when C9 is making plays, like they're losing like double inhib turrets. They lost 3 turrets for making a
Yeah,
pick for 2 plays.
yeah. Now Rek'Sai is just like stopping the recalls.
Yeah.
Probably worse. Rainover we're gonna get stunned here. Does have the GA, so it's a ton of time that is able to really buy here. Huni again looking for a 1v2, but Sneaky actually made it back. Huni gonna get crit. Oh, he needs one more.
He's gonna get
He's gonna get
collapsed.
collapsed on, but they got bottom inhibitor almost positive. Pobelter's down there.
Oh, Smoothie flashes. That's aggressive, Sneaky. Probably didn't need it.
There it
But
is.
Pobelter able to get this inhib.
Yeah, this is the way that C9 should have played, and overall, just like how the 1-3-1 works, you basically, one of the sides in 1-3-1 is usually dies or gets collapsed or anything, but the other sides, they're getting, like, if the 1-3-1 setup is going and they're already under your towers, no matter what happens, especially when the Baron is down, or like there is no like the Elder Dragon or anything, they just like, you collapse on one side, the other sides are getting turret or anything. And like right now, for example, C9 after getting all those kills, they could have got a Baron, but unlucky the Baron is down.
Yeah, Dead Man's Plate coming out of a Riven for 4th item. That's interesting.
You're in love with this Riven build.
Yeah,
I love it. Who
do
knows
like
what
Riven.
Hooney wants to do? I like Riven
Yeah.
too.
I wish there would be Infinity Edge and Static Shift, but
Ooh.
I guess I take this one.
Not this time. Pobelter actually pretty strong. Flies a Void Staff. Thought about the Death Cap, but went back on it. I mean, both of them is fairly strong here. You've kind of already highlighted that Mortals want to play the map and C9 just want to play the fights. It's interesting that the LeBlanc pick, which probably lane-wise, maybe strategically, wasn't going to work out that much, but Immortal's certainly demonstrating that they can play the macro game exceptionally well. And despite the pick maybe being a little suboptimal in certain areas, Pobelter's clearly making it work because he's just doing what the pick is required of him, right?
So this is really good for C9. They are pressuring, or they're posting up on a tower before the split push is pressuring them. But it seems like with, well, we'll see.
They
really need to
very
get
soon.
something off this.
Yeah, this is like...
Oh, Riven, they have double flank from the solo lane.
Pobelter doesn't get stunned.
Dodges
Actually
the
makes his
stun.
way back in time.
Hooney's gonna carry this.
Oh, here we go. Smoothie in. Jensen getting low. He actually gets ulted. Sneaky able to take him down. Golden Goose
That's
prediction
unfortunate.
goes sideways.
As I said, the Riven pick and LeBlanc pick, this is basically what C9 should have done, right? In the previous game with LeBlanc collapsing and everything. But it's still like so hard to execute, and Syndra just shuts it down completely. They just like one-shots whoever jumps in from behind. So it's just like, yeah, it's really hard to play against Syndra. And basically their build is fully optimized for the split push too. So
Ooh, Pobelter, big play. Maybe not. Sneaky flashing out of the way. Immortals try and collapse. Impact's back in the bottom lane. No ulti, no. Oh, does have TP, so he's busy tending to the super minions. Then I'm gonna have to run here. Maybe that's gonna be caught. Could be okay.
they're getting TP'd on by Pobelter.
All right, see what Pobelter can do. Needs to make a big play.
He's just
top.
going straight top. All right.
He's going for some sick flank.
This is some.
Oh, he might actually.
Suicide
Did they see
somewhere.
him? Okay, now they see him.
He's just gonna push and then
Yeah, he's just gonna sit and make people come to him.
he's just gonna waste his TP and do nothing.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's another way to describe that play.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm so sad about that Riven play.
Yeah, you were there. You were ready.
You were so
I
hyped.
mean, here's just go like Super Saiyan. You know, he has TP.
just like-
I've been farming for 30 minutes. I have TP. I have a flank. They're all grouped up, and then I'm exhausted and I'm useless.
And I'm one shot.
Yeah, Syndra ulti.
I mean, maybe if you built a Mercurial Scimitar instead of
That's
a
what
dead
he's
man's
dealing
plate.
with right now. Either GA or QSS was needed, but that dead man's play looks cool.
It does look pretty cool.
It
You get
matches
that
the
little
build.
tailwind behind you.
He's got like all red at.
Look at that.
no.
I don't want to mess with that.
I mean, like it's better. It's a good item to dive, but it doesn't really help in the team fights, especially against Syndra. That just presses R.
Yeah. That's why it doesn't. Oh.
Hooney caught. Oh,
This is
feels
a-
bad, man.
Oh.
Dead.
This is the Hooney moment.
This is
Right when the Baron spawns too.
Oh no, that is bad. Yeah, this is like a typical Hooney game. Usually Hooney comes in and just carries the team fights, but this time he's just getting punished.
Yeah, he's just like he's probably tilted after a couple previous team fights.
I mean,
Just
I
like
bet,
his
yeah.
his decision making is a bit off after
Yeah.
what happened.
But here, I think they're gonna end up trading inhibitors.
commit to the split push.
Yeah, that's
They're
definitely.
not even gonna trade. Probably Gangplank can clear against LeBlanc,
Yeah, he's pretty late though.
so they
We'll
can.
see.
She doesn't have that much.
I mean, and Impact has 0 MR, so
I mean, we'll see. They're gonna be interesting 1v1.
yeah, I think LeBlanc. Can
Let's
win.
go.
Yeah,
Oh
LeBlanc's
no! Impact!
Dude,
Oh,
dude,
feels
dude.
bad. Ulti is. Oh my god, that was
that was
actually
close.
enough.
So basically, the skill shot of Gangplank is stronger. He just presses Q on her.
Yep. Well, his ulti is also a pretty big skill shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty big
hard
skill
one to
shot.
hit.
Well, looks like we solved it for that one, but interesting split push builds all around. Just get tagged. Smoothie though. Oh man, feels bad. Media's gonna pop Adrian. That's not quite the ulti you wanted, but it's does not gonna matter because more than enough damage between Jensen and.
I like that
Pobelter.
he didn't want to ult him till the end, and then when he died already, he ulted him
Yeah.
finally. That was interesting. This is how I feel when I play Syndra. Whenever you're like, I don't want to waste my ult for support. Oh, what if he won't die? And then he used ult and he died already.
Yeah, it feels bad. Wow, wait, are they going for the Nexus
Then I'll
turrets?
try.
This is hypey.
All right, this is the way to throw the game.
Okay, here we go. Let's
That's
go.
good, they have
Hooney,
time.
this is your chance. He still doesn't have QSS.
Right into Zane. Hooney already committed to the ulti.
Exhaust is
Smoothie
down.
blocked it, I think, as well. Rainover gonna get chunked out. Hooney gets stunned as he tries to hop back in. Rainover's GA gonna get popped as Jensen just wants him. He's
Unlucky
gonna take him
shot.
down. Sneaky able to take him, and there's Rainover. Now
Oh,
Pobelter
oh.
going crazy. into the back lines, but that's not enough. C9 going to keep going.
The Jensen flash was clutch.
That was clutch. Pobelter almost made a huge play there, but Jensen's a good enough player. He read it.
Oh
my God.
Read that. This bomb turtle pumps back in. He's going to die though. Pobelter trying to save the game. Sneaky actually almost dead. He actually does go down as he pops back in. Pobelter.
Wow.
Making it count. Impact's tanking the turret. C9, it's getting real messy in this phase.
Wait, they only have total up to 30 seconds.
This is a wonderful game. I like it.
C9 is still committing. They want at least one Nexus start, right? They've committed so much already.
This
could punish them. If they die when on the respawns, then they're gonna lose Baron.
This game reminds me of Renegades versus Dignitas, except these are good teams.
Okay.
Brutal.
They have Riven TP coming from behind them in 5 seconds. Rek'Sai gonna come too. If they kill these guys on the escape, they're gonna get Baron buff and they're gonna get double.
Huni is TPing.
Okay, well.
Let's go, Huni.
All right, let's see can Riven actually do something.
It's a questionable game. Meteos, you better run.
Their exhaust is down.
Everything is down.
Trundle is actually basically a top laner at this point because he can just steal AD and.
Oh, Impact. A bit of damage. Impact. This is the support. He commits the ultimate for it. He gets
one.
My
God, they need Riven on.
They split up. Here's Jin though. Impact needs to run.
Shot.
Oh, fancy feet.
Nice shot.
Not even fancy enough.
All right.
Great shots by Turtle. Oh.
I remember when I said Huni was tilted. I guess I was right.
Yeah. Did he even kill Braum? He didn't even kill Braum.
No, Smoothie lived.
Yeah.
What in the world?
At least he got QSS now.
QSS. And exhaust
solves all his problems.
Exhaust is down for another 60 seconds or so maybe.
Yeah, I guess the problem is Syndra gonna have Revenant soon, and exhaust won't be his biggest problem.
Oh boy.
At least Immortals are getting all the dragons.
Trade?
Guys, they could be on Baron. Oh.
I mean, 8% versus Baron, not bad.
All right, that's the trade. Infernal Jacob with all models. C9 with their one mountain do take Baron instead. And what fight does Jensen have here? Does he have Death Cap yet?
He's probably really,
So finally, C9 were trying to make this game Clown Fiesta, and they did it, and this is where they strive, so they started winning.
That's true.
I mean, the goal is very close, but you kind of said it already. It does feel like C9 just out-comped Immortals, and Immortals are doing everything they can to stick to their win condition, which was to 1-3-1, but it's getting real messy, and C9 kind of cobbling together a win, maybe.
Yeah, C9, they finally got the push before the 1-3-1 started going, so basically, because of the Immortals, wasting their time a bit, and, they couldn't set up 1-3-1, and then C9 just brute force mid. And then instead of just sticking to that 1-3-1 and trying to maybe give mid inhib, they tried to collapse, and we saw that Riven can't do anything.
Yeah, you're seeing pretty much C9 aren't really knowing what to do in the macro game, so they're just running it down mid, and they have a stronger team fight, so it's working.
Well,
yeah,
he's still going.
And now it all depends.
Here we go.
How strong is Nexus?
He does not have teleport, by the way. He is committed.
I'm pretty sure they can just focus Nexus just in the game.
That's what they're doing.
Open.
Jensen's hitting Nexus.
Yeah, Jensen, enough AP maybe to get through it, and C9 are going to win. Huni commits for the base and does not get it.
Wonderful game. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I think both mid laners did pretty well overall that game. I think if Immortals just drafts a better mid laner next game, I think they'll be in a pretty good spot. But he did about as much as he could in LeBlanc versus Syndra matchup.
Yeah, we can see that 1-3-1 is not going well for both teams this game, so maybe they will stop trying it, or maybe we'll see LeBlanc again in the next game. And
I hope not. I mean, again, they're both good LeBlanc players, not to slight them at all, but I feel like you guys have said, it just doesn't really fit in the comps or the meta that, with the way the champs are kind of playing right now. If they wanted to 1-3-1, is there a different mid laner that Pobelter could play other than LeBlanc?
What were the bans that game?
I mean, they banned Talia, so...
Vlad was down.
Yeah. It's well, I mean, he lost this game, but he probably gonna get on Reddit with that play when he juked everyone. So I call worth.
As long as they win the series, I guess it's still worth it. But Syndra finally coming off of Jensen, that did actually make a big difference. Not just because Pobelter maybe put himself in a silly spot with the matchup, but it felt like it fit C9's play more, and Jensen was able to just do a lot more with the champion.
Yeah, I think it's also... So Pobelter was doing what a LeBlanc should do. LeBlanc is a viable champion. You can play it in competitive games. You go to split push and you drag the team around. Also, C9 didn't answer very well. They just kept chasing him around. And Immortals, I don't think they capitalized as much off the LeBlanc player as they could have, because he was actually attracting a lot of pressure. But they ended up just failing dives on Gangplank over and over with Riven Rek'Sai. If that's just kind of,
That's what I feel like. LeBlanc was doing everything that she should have done, right? But then for some reason, instead of like going mid lane and just pushing mid when like five people are chasing LeBlanc over and over again, or like 4 people, okay, Gangplank is suffering somewhere in the bot lane, they were just like, oh, let's collapse there and then team fight against the team fight comp with our 1-3-1 split push comp. Oh, it didn't work. I mean, unlucky.
Unlucky indeed. Well, for the full view of that game, let's check back in with our analyst.
Pretty well, but once they get out of that point where it's like, hey, it's no longer about laning 1v1, not so much.
It's kind of weird because like I actually like the Rumble ban a little bit because it's not just a counter pick to the GP. It's like it opens up the Sivir a little bit more, and I think we saw that the Sivir was able to have a higher impact in this game.
Yeah.
But the Riven pick is definitely questionable because while it's great for snowballing, it snowballs harder than something than say a Gnar. When it comes to team fighting, if it gets focused by like the Braum CC, the Exhaust, the Gragas in some way, it's just gonna get blown up. And that's what we saw was despite the lead when he had that first TP flank in the mid lane, he just insta-died.
Well, I think we have to give some credit to Impact here for his itemization, for being able to survive so much of the pressure from Immortals, basically stalling out the process of the backdoor until they got to a point where they can just 5-man into mid lane and then be unstoppable at that point. But I would have liked to see a little bit more roaming from Pobelter to the Riven lane, make sure that you can just snowball on GP, because he was stacking armor, he was stacking that HP. If you just have LeBlanc pay a visit towards that side, but that's the downside of not having wave 2. You got Trundle, Jhin in the mid lane, I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, I think they were looking at 1-3-1 with the TP LeBlanc, and they had mild success with it until C9 finally was like, hey, let's just group up and push mid, and then you're left with a pretty terrible 5v5 comp.
Right, but you do see how precariously the game balances at that point where you know, if we don't group up quickly enough as 5, then we do lose to the double side lane pressure. If we group up just fast enough, then they have to back and try and defend as 5. And it creates a very chaotic game, which I think most of the time when we look at these two teams, we would say a chaotic game falls in favor of Immortals.
Well, even though the game just turned completely buck wild, I really did like how it's just a clash of two very different approaches to the game. One person wants to stall out, wait until 5, group, and just be a death ball, while the other one just wants to say, we're about the laning phase, we're about splitting you up, we're about running you around the map, like we saw Pobelter just running them around the Rosie and doing that successfully. But it's just overall fun to watch that happen.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the gameplay. That was extraordinarily fun to watch. I want to start with the first blood, which was a traded 1-for-1 kill here, but we saw some sweet moves out of Jensen in this clip.
Right, I think this is really just showing how on the same page they are. Like, Immortals instantly flies over the wall, and Jensen's right there right after to pick the kill up. And then we see that Huni's coming down from River on the bot side, so Meteos needs to take this really unsafe path, because if he goes over the wall, he probably just gets killed. And then Pobel is able to go and clean him up. So it was just a really great way of seeing how on top of communication both these teams are and moving around together.
Yeah, very much so. You see the TP come in from Impact, doesn't finish it, so he stays top lane, continuing to farm. You know, of course, again, as we mentioned, we have to give him a little bit of a nod for how much pressure he absorbed. Once again, there's 2 games in a row on GP that he has just been a punching bag for both Reignover and Huni, but he's dealing with it very well considering the circumstances.
I mean, it goes even back to last series where against Envy, they had the Kennen picks and these things they kept throwing at him, and he would make them go 1-for-1. Here, it took them a couple dives to get it right finally and kill Impact. If he's able to absorb this much attention from Huni and Reignover for the rest of the series, I think this could be a trouble for Immortals.
All right, well, let's jump ahead a little bit to 11 minutes. This is going to be a 3-for-2 for Cloud9 underneath this bot tier turret.
And this is going to start off with a nice little chunk here. It's so hard to go into the Braum with the creep wave advantage, and Meteos going to come in, try to pick it up with his ultimate, but Walter has a nice little flash out of it. But this is a great little flash, flashing over as opposed to the E-slam flash, but now the whole crew's coming down, and this is going to turn ugly for Immortals.
Yeah, so full 5-man in the bot lane.
Right, it's actually interesting to see that Huni and Reignover really aren't super on the same page here. Huni looks like he doesn't want to keep going as Reignover goes in, and then he's not really committed to the fight. So it was very interesting to see that this is one of the few skirmishes where Immortals didn't look on the same page, and C9 was able to come out on top for it.
Yeah, C9 once again around their table of food, gearing up for
cornucopia.
That's
Think
right.
they'll
Yeah,
finish the
gearing up for
bananas
game
by the
three.
end of the series?
It's a good question, right? You need that
We only got
potassium, man. You got to
5
get that
left. I don't
potassium, and
know.
you got to keep those muscles loose. That's what potassium does for you. No, but you know, so for Cloud9, discussing what they'll do for Game 3 right now, I do want to hit one more clip, and this is an Immortals favored replay here, but it is once again Immortals making a very bold Baron call on the back end of this replay. So 26-30 into the game, 4 for 2 for Immortals. Gutsy Baron call, they secure it, but not before quite a few people go down in the attempt.
Well, this is going to start off with a TP from Huni, and he's going to try to look to 1v3, but he messes up the combo here. The nice little slam from Meteos is going to throw him off guard, and he's going to be able to stall out just a bit, dish out some DPS, and forces out the exhaust, which is going to be huge because now the rest of Immortals can come in and try to clean up house. And it's just so unfortunate for Jensen that the stun, even though this one hit onto Wild Turtle, pretty much every other spell is going to just barely be out of range.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great spell shield, though, also from Sneaky on that initial attempt of stun from Huni, which keeps him alive just long enough to put out a few of those ricochet hits. But ultimately, a one fight for Immortals. We see them make another gutsy call in going for the Baron on the back end of this when all of their members have very low health. A contest from Cloud9 kills everybody but Huni, so Huni did remain on the map with the Baron buff.
Well, it's just what you were saying, that they're not on the same page. Like,
Yeah.
Pobelter could have easily TP'd on time, but he waits like 4 seconds so his team dies to Baron. Like, all right, I'm here, guys.
Yeah, he res, has TP up, and he just sat there while his team died to the Baron. If he just went right away, it would have been a lot smoother. And there were a lot of these kind of uncharacteristic hiccups coming out of them.
And scarily enough for Immortals, that was all Cloud9 needed to really get back into the game. Because of the time they took to try and secure that Baron, Cloud9 was able to push down a couple turrets in the mid lane, grab themselves some global gold.
Oh,
and
that doesn't look good.
And in a sense, create
Who's
that
that?
Huni.
warpath.
Jesus.
Yeah, actually, I wonder what happened. Maybe we just lost food. Who knows? I have a feeling that. Oh no, yeah. There we go. It wasn't as bad as it was.
His batteries ran out and he had to just
He
recharge.
literally just like, no. It's still in high spirits there for Huni. But basically, those two turrets picked up for Cloud9 was what kind of created that warpath for them that they would use in the later stages of the game when they grouped as 5. Because they didn't have to go through 2 turrets anymore, they could very easily threaten that inhib turret for the remainder of the game.
Right, and I think a big part of it too came down to the fact that after that point, their team fighting was really bad, where like Huni would go in and get insta-gibbed, or it would start with someone getting really chunked out.
Right.
And it's hard to go from 3-1 and 3 to 3-5 and whatever.
Exactly. Well, you kind of do really see how Immortals team comp lacks synergy in full 5v5s when they're forced to kind of regroup and fight. Final point here.
One of the minor things I liked about Impact's GP here, into the Jhin specifically, recognizing the composition, LeBlanc can't come in for wave clear. Nobody else has wave clear. They're trying to wave clear or initiate with the Jhin ultimate. As soon as Jhin drops his ult, GP ult right on top of him in the center with the true damage. He has to back off or he's going to die. Get soloed out because there's no need for the GP ultimate to win that team fight because they're 5v5 so strong. So I thought that was a great usage of the ult.
All right, well, Cloud9, they equalized the series at 1-1, so come back after the break because the North American LCS semifinal continues in just 3.5 minutes.
Soon 60 years old now. Soon I'll be beating C9 on the Summoner's Rift.
Holy, you're actually hella good at making lyrics, by the way.
Pobelter is going to get stunned up. He's going to get collapsed on. He's going to go down. But a trade close. Huni picks up 1. Then in a smoothie. A second kill comes through thanks to Rainover. Has to run. Meteos nearly picks up Pobelter, but that's going to be another couple of dodges. Yeah, he went the other way around. Pobelter is tricksy on this one.
Wait for me. Wait. Jason still has flash, guys. Jason can flash in. Nice. I feel it.
Nice, go. Hey, I got pillared.
But they're trying for the defense anyway. Huni is still pushing at this time. They're trying to get it, but that's a Nexus turret down. Cloud9 gets the win, and they tie the series.